do it.
I think that's it. Hi, Johnny. How you doing, mate?
What's that?
Johnny.
That's your hi.
Yep.
Hi, Tommy. It's Shippy. Are you awake? You say hi, baby, Mama.
Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's pause that one off.
I did do that. Daddy?
Yes, buddy.
I did do that.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
You say hi, baby, Mama. What's up, boy? Ow.
Bum, 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 bum. Just trying to find something.
I will see. Hey, Daddy?
Yes, buddy.
The book went away?
I've no idea.
You buy it?
Nope.
Oh, don't. Ding dong ding. What's that?
Johnny says, yo. Yeah, good, mate.
I said, yo!
He says, hi, little man.
Hi, man. What's up?
You're my little man. Yeah.
Daddy?
You're daddy's little boy.
That you?
Just had a grilled breakfast. Hi, Tim the Spanner Man. How you doing?
Spanner who? Hi, man.
Tim the Spanner Man says, hi, Mick and Riley. Come sit down, please, buddy boy. Let's let the old shed warm up a smidge.
This is your bubble coming. How is your bubble coming?
Hey, I've no idea yet, buddy. It's just early yet. There's still some people probably. I think Chris Reardon is still live. He was going on only live for an hour.
I know I do.
I didn't see many others going live.
Right.
So Riley boy is off school.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd do a little live. Snobby Scrap Picker says, morning, Riley boy. Hey, says morning to you.
Hello, Chubby.
How you doing, mate?
Who's that?
I expect it's mummy's. My phone's just gone off.
Why?
Yeah, it's mummy.
Oh, it's Chubby. It's Chubby.
2 seconds, mate.
It's a Daddy. What's that? It's a.
All right, White. How you doing? Andrew Throne is in.
Hi, Chubby.
Let's put the link out to the
Daddy.
to the chat.
Daddy. What's that? Yeah, Chubby.
Yeah, that's Snobby Scrap Picker. Yeah.
Hi, Chubby. What's that? What's that, Bo?
There's a StreamYard chat if anyone wants to come on in.
This is your boy.
How you doing, Snob? Hope you're well.
I thought you were well, Chubby.
Good, good. So Riley boy's got a little gift, which I found actually on the doorstep this morning. Funnily enough.
Doorstep.
On the doorstep. Hi, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
For me.
That's for you. It says, to Riley, Merry Christmas from Roger and Karen on the school bus.
Daddy, I'm with your boy.
Well, Roy may not be in today, so you can't wait on someone may not turn up.
Now?
Yeah, so you got that one up. And so that's just off of the bus driver who takes Riley boy to school, and the escort as well. Because Riley gets picked up from, thank you, buddy, from school, from home, dropped to school, and taken back.
Wow!
And what have you got? You've got a fantastic Cadbury selection box. That's cool. Unfortunately, he don't eat them.
I can't. What's
He doesn't eat them. You might eat the buttons that are push. I don't think you will. It says, I've already read it. It says, to Riley, Merry Christmas from Karen and Roger on the school bus. So that's kind of cool.
What I tell is you what I tell you, but however.
That's cool.
What do you know?
There you go.
A car.
I'll let the card in a bit. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Pete to come on in. It'll be good.
Pete.
Hi, Norms. How are you doing?
Daddy.
Thank you for all your lovely comments. For those of you that have watched my last video, which was the little black lawnmower, which is currently on the bench at the moment. This one here, just to get it started, which it's now doing, which
Daddy.
is cool. Yeah.
Pete.
Hmm?
Who's Pete?
Yeah, Pete, if he comes in. What was that? 2 seconds. Transport really good with my foster bro Luke, and says they're fantastic. I mean, Riley, he yes, buddy. We'll see. Why don't you come and sit down for a minute?
Come boy.
Come and sit down for a bit.
Ow!
Come here. The council, because Riley's on high rate mobility and care under the disability living allowance scheme, he's entitled to get free transport to and from school. So that's kind of cool.
Daddy,
yeah.
It's there.
Hey? That's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, your boy.
Yeah. No, it's Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
So he gets free transport, which is kind of cool. And has a bus driver and an escort, a qualified escort on there. So it's 2 a.m. here in Vegas. Laugh out loud. Well, it's apparently it's a place that never sleeps. He used to be on a really big bus, but he really struggled with that because too many kids on it and lots of noise. So they now get a little tiny minibus. There's only 3 kids go on it, an escort and the driver, and it's much better for him. So because as we all know, Riley does have behavioural issues, so he can kick off at any time. It just works quite well. So it's nice that they thought of him. Has Riley broke up from school yet? Well, technically the answer is no. However, where did we go yesterday? What did we do yesterday?
A bus.
No, what did we do yesterday at school?
Car.
Yesterday at school, what did we do?
Singing.
We did some singing. So we all went up to Riley's school yesterday and watched Riley and his class perform a Christmas Carol style assembly, which was cool. What songs did you sing?
Christmas song.
What songs? What's this one?
Oh, tree.
Oh, Christmas tree song, yeah.
Daddy, tree.
So it's just Daddy's batteries, mate. That's fine. It's no problem. So there's about 8 or 9 of his kids. There's only about 8 or 9 kids in his class because Riley's in the autistic spectrum disorder unit. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's no problem. Have some juice. Because he's in the ASD department, it's quite a small class, but they all rallied around together and had a good sing song. They've already reduced Riley's hours. They already reduced Riley's hours down to 2 o'clock in the afternoon because his behaviours was spiking. Because I think it's just because of Christmas. So Christmas term is quite a long term. Yeah.
What's that?
I shall read it in 2 seconds.
I'll do it. Hi, boy.
He's not there. Sit down.
Oh no!
So
no.
we said to the teacher, what do you want to do? Because he is spiking quite early in the afternoon, and his behaviour is taking a drop. So they said, well, why don't you just take him off for the rest of the term? So he's only 4 days ahead of everybody else. But he's just better off at home, and he's just more relaxed. And the Christmas theme thing can be progressional rather than coming home to find presents and coming home to find extra things in their house. It was just tipping him over. So yeah, he hasn't finished yet, but he is off 4 days early. So Snobby Scrap Picker says, I like your t-shirt, Riley.
Ding.
They're both deaf, tricky to feed, and Luke is autistic. Great kids, love the bitch. Yeah, exactly, John. You're on the same boat as me, bruv. So you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, he's with me. Mrs. P, she's upstairs, gone back to bed because somebody was awake at what time did you wake up this morning?
2.
2:15 this morning. So between me,
boy.
No, that's sorry, Merman. Between me and Mrs. P, we've been up since 2:30 off and on every sort of 2 or 3 hours, which is normal. So Mrs. P's, we've got up, we had a bit of breakfast, and give Riley his medication for the day. Hi, Tina, and she's gone back to bed for a couple of hours. Tina. Tina, she's up in Scotland. So he's had his meds, and she's gone back to bed just for 2 or 3 hours, just to top up.
What's up, BJ?
Snobby says, Tina, hello, girl.
Again.
So I said, well, I'll take him down the shack, and we'll do a little live, and we'll have a chat. It might just be good for him just to relax. And he loves doing the live chats, as you know. He's full of beans. Yeah. Tina says, hi, Riley. Yeah, Tina says, hi, Riley. So I just wait for his meds to kick in. At the moment, then he's only had it about half hour ago. So he's rocking and rolling, as I call it. But hopefully he will level out quite soon. He'll probably dart off in a bit and go back indoors and what have you. But it's up to him. You know, Mrs. P's indoors, so he's quite safe. Yeah.
What's it? T.
Let's see. Andrew says, exciting times.
What's it?
Listen to me.
Have fun.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
Right. Exciting times this time of the year. I was where'd it go? It jumped.
No.
Yeah, it jumped. I'm gonna get a comment back. If I bring it up, might be easier. It is there.
Every time.
There you go. At exciting times of the year, I was my grandson
Hi,
play.
Daddy.
He played the baby Jesus. Fantastic.
Baby Jesus.
Snobby saying hi to Tina. Tina saying hi to Riley.
Hi, teacher.
What's this one here from Johnny?
Hi, Chocolate.
Christian's very intelligent and will be fine in adult world. I'm taking care of Luke when it gets too much for her and my stepdad. He won't be able to look after himself when he's an adult. Yeah. Same as Riley Boy. Yeah, and that's why we bought the house that we bought. Hiya, Mojo. How you doing, buddy?
Hi.
That's why we bought the house that we bought. We've got a 3-bedroom end of terrace house or mid terrace house. No, end of terrace, and it's a 3-bedroom house with a 1-bedroom annex, and currently my mother-in-law is living in the annex. And the house was bought on purpose so that in years to come, when the mother-in-law is no longer about, and Riley Boy is of an age, he can have his own little living space where he'll have his own wet room, bathroom, shower, front room. It's like a bed sit, effectively, but with no kitchen. So he'll have to come into the main house for food. Because we can't have him cooking or what have you. So he'll have his own space and what have you, his own TV and all that sort of good stuff when he's older. And the house will be set up and designed for him. So that's why we bought the house. So I understand what you're saying. And eventually Riley, we would like to think Riley would go into some kind of adult assisted living. That's the plan. But the way the government is with regards to adult assisted living, it's very difficult to get them in there. And difficult to find the right care as well, because lots of kids with Riley's condition or Riley's syndrome, there's a charity that is set up for complex needs, which is your real complex stuff, massive aggression and all that sort of good stuff. And they're even coming back to us as a charity, and they're saying we can't cope with these. 2 seconds. We can't cope with these young adults. They're too complex, which is what Riley is.
Yeah, boy.
No, that's Mojo Leonard. Princess Poppet is saying hi to Tina.
Yeah, we try.
Yes, it was a good. Well, as I say, Johnny, the house was bought on purpose. The house was bought with the inclination that the mother-in-law is not going to be around forever, and she was even part of that process. She was living in a mobile home on her own. She lost her husband, which is Sue's dad. He passed away about 5-6 years ago now, and she was living on her own and not doing very well.
Daddy.
In fact, to say she had no adult conversation. That's what I'm talking. She had no adult conversation for like weeks and weeks. So I said to her, "Why don't you just sell that place? Give me 30 grand." And I can't get a mortgage. I can afford a mortgage, but don't have the 30 grand. So that's what she done. She sold the place, give me 30k. I went and got a mortgage, and we all now live together on the provisory that the house is set up for Riley later in life. So it all works out.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Here we join.
We'll see. Norm's most great idea. Well, I mean, you've got to think of this, and sometimes the feeling I lay awake at night thinking. What's going to happen to Riley when I get too old? Hiya, blood. How you doing, buddy? It's something that plays on your mind. I can assure you, when you have a child with disabilities like I do, it plays on your mind. When I'm 80 years old and can no longer walk and I need care myself, possibly, what's going to happen to my little man? So we looked at all different situations, and this is the best situation we can come up with at this current time in life. So I know everything a fight these days to get help. Yeah, it is. It is a fight.
What's that?
I'm just wiping the seat off.
No, it's like.
It might have been a bird, possibly.
No, right.
Did I miss someone else come in?
On the t-shirt.
The Waltons. It is difficult. Tina knows what I'm talking about too, and because Ali looks after. Ali is a carer, so we all know. I mean, it's funny how the world goes around. There's so many people in my chats that literally are carers, or they're people with disabilities, or they have very close relatives that look after people with disabilities. It's so common And so many people do really struggle with looking after family members. In fact, my uncle's just recently this year been put into a home. He's got dementia, and he altered overnight. And his wife, my auntie, she can't cope with him, so we had to go in the home. And to be fair, you know, because he was really hard work, he's better off in there because he can get the care he needs, and he gets the intervention, and he gets the stimulation that he actually needs throughout the day. So that's all good. Well, my mum says she would give me. My mum says she'll give me the house, as it's a big house, all arranged for the kiddos and stuff. And I'll give Luke a stable environment. Mum has 2 houses, has a bungalow, coastal. Cool. So it looks like, God willing, touching wood, John, that will all figure out. But we just don't know. We just don't know what's around the corner. With regards to would I need help later on in life, or would Mrs. P need help later on in life, or would the mother-in-law, you know? So sometimes the best plan doesn't always go to plan, unfortunately. Oh. Tina, we are still fighting for help. Yeah, the help never stops fighting, team. I'm a stepdad of a 13-year-old boy with ADHD. Yep, fully understand, Norms. I know exactly what you're saying, buddy. One day at a time, Micks Mowers, one day at a time, and sometimes, Tina, 1 hour or 1 minute at a time with Riley Boy. Daddy, yes, buddy. What are doors? Pardon? What are doors? You can go indoors. Go on, you can go indoors then, but don't shut the door. Leave the door open. Because Mummy's upstairs. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay. Good boy. Loves you. Good boy. Go careful. There he goes. Yeah, Mum's healthy at the moment. Just make sure Luke doesn't get into adult social care. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a good friend of mine who's she lives up in Scotland, and she's a single mum, has been all her life. She's never had a partner, husband, nothing like that at all. And she's adopted 4 children with additional needs, and one of them has SMS, same as Riley. And she's got another child. She's actually a young adult who has got severe cerebral palsy. Who's tube fed, non-verbal, all that sort of lovely stuff. And she's got another young lad who has got severe learning disabilities. He's in adult assisted living. And she has to have her house has been modified with hoists and all that sort of stuff to cope. Because, you know, she's getting no younger. And she's actually considering putting the 2 oldest children, the 2 girls, into care, because they would possibly receive better care than what she can provide at home. And that's a hell of a choice to make. She's had them kids since day one, pretty much. I think one of the girl who's got the same syndrome as Riley, she was probably about 13 weeks old when she adopted her. But because she's getting of the age herself, and, you know, she needs to take care of herself and what have you, and she's struggling on her own with the care system not providing what she needs, she's considering putting them both into care. The conversation's come up 2 or 3 times this year, and I've just said, you have to do what is best for the kids. Just you know, disregard your emotional aspect of it, which is no easy thing to do because they are technically her kids. You know, she's mum. But the social care might possibly give better care for the kids. It's a difficult one. My mum's helping at the moment, just make sure, yeah, Norm's mower. It's a case of picking the battles. Yes, I was always told with Riley, pick your battles to win your wars. It's as simple as that. And sometimes it's best just to let things go. Yes, it's true. I have a disabled boy, and he's got heart problems to this day. So I know how you feel, mate. Yeah, it is bloody tough. But this is why I do what I do. I do my YouTube videos, my live streams, because it helps. It helps talk to other people. It helps people talk as well, which is good. I found very quick that people realise Riley is not your average Joe, and people give me support because Riley's on the channel, you know, and Riley is a big part of this channel. He's not placed there to make my subscriptions go up. He's my son, and he enjoys doing what I do. So this is why I do what I do, because I enjoy it. It's a release. His way of communication. These creatures don't want to put him in a corner to ignore. That's hard to deal with. It's just the way I love him at 2 bits. Maybe last year I was, but I feel so much better now. Yeah, cool. It takes time. It takes time, John. The male species are gits. Us dads are gits. Stepdads are gits. Male carers with gits because we don't often show our feelings, and it gets to a head at some point, and you realise you really are struggling. But you can always find sanctuary on a Micks Mowers channel. You can always find sanctuary, and if you want to come up and have a chat about it and do it openly without ridicule, that's not a problem on this channel. That's good. You turn yourself around, and trust me, I was the same. I was the same, John. I think it was about 3 years ago now. I actually had a nervous breakdown, or a little one, is what they reckon, and it's all because of Riley and his diagnosis and the lack of support. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to support my own child. Didn't know how to support my family. Trying to get systems in place to care for Riley, and it all got too much, and I just collapsed. Just went really downhill, really low. Not depressed. I just literally just collapsed, and I was done. But since that day, after I got a little bit of help with some counselling and some bits and pieces, really turned it around. I then became a member of a charity, and then a trustee. I've been a trustee now for 4 years on the charity, and we help families all over the world, whether it be blue badges, disability living allowance, secure environments, school education, school environments, any issue that they have with these children with this unique syndrome, we help out as much as we can. So that's really turned it around, and it's gone from a really negative situation from where I was to a massively positive place. And now nothing tends to faze me. So the person you see with the confidence, I didn't have that 3 years ago. I had it way before. I was really confident way before, but then I just crashed, and it happens. You know, it's about reflecting. If you can reflect on the bad situation and make it into a positive, then life becomes easier and more manageable, definitely, and you can help others. That's what it's all about. Good morning, Gary Butler. How you doing, buddy boy? There's another carer just wandered in the door. And that's just what we do. You know, life's hard enough as it is. Life is hard enough as it is with children with normal ability, let alone children with complex needs. And I know some families who have got two or three kids like Riley, you know, because they obviously continue to have more kids, and as the cards have been dealt, they've got 2 or 3 kids. I know a family got twins with SMS. They're really complex, and she really struggles. Again, she's a single mum, so she gets lots of support. In fact, her child was arrested last year at 15 years old, and the police didn't. So it's a difficult situation. I can't talk too much about it, but the child was arrested, and it wasn't known locally to the police that she had this syndrome. And they thought, because she was quite a big girl, they thought she was over 17. So they locked her up, and she was spitting and she was biting. So they put a spit gag on her. They handcuffed her in a cell, this, that, and the other. And they left her there for like 14 hours before it dawned on them, actually, this child's got additional needs. And when it come to light, she was only 14 years old. There's a big thing in the press about it. So everything is not always what it looks like on the face value. And we have to support the family and the police in that matter. The police weren't at fault. They needed educating. But to have your child with complex needs arrested at 14, treated like an adult because of the behavioural issues, that's shocking. Oh, I've got a couple in here. Who have we got in here? We've got the computer nerd. Sorry, lads, I'm sitting there waffling away. Didn't see you down there. You should. Oh, Steve's not in there. Steve's gone to the loo. Oh, he is. How you doing, Steve?
All right.
Hello, Mick. How are you and your family doing? It's pissing down here. It's raining.
It's now here.
It's not too bad here. It's not the nicest of days, but we've had worse. We've had better. What's the story? 14-year-old with issues got arrested. Yeah, it's a family that I know who've got twins with the same syndrome as Riley, and she was out and about. She was quite independent, and she was out and about, and somehow got herself in a bit of bother. And the police arrested her, put a spit gag on her, and handcuffed her up. And of course, she kicked right off royally. And 14 hours later, it came to light that she was actually got additional needs, and the police didn't know. So, oh, there goes my squirrel.
Well, I'm sure that makes it look really bad for the department.
Well, it did, but what you got to remember is they were unaware, and it's not like Down syndrome where the facial features are prominent. It's not like cerebral palsy where the facial features and the ability is prominent, or Angelman's or something like that, or Prada Willie. SMS is kind of unique in the fact that Riley looks like your average Joe child. You wouldn't pick him out of a crowd if he was just sat there. It's not until you get to know Riley you actually realise he has got an additional need. Hi, Dojo. So it's a difficult one, and I said the police were at fault, but they put their hands up and said, "Yeah, okay, but we need support with this because we were unaware," and they held their hands up definitely. But it's what happens, you know. At least they put their hands up and said, you know, yeah, we're at fault. How do we make this better? How can we learn from this and stop it happening again?
Yeah.
So,
It seems to me your country needs to get more educated on SMS.
well, it's not just our country. Trust me. There's only 800 people that we know of in the world who have got it. And I reckon the number is actually shockingly more. Shockingly more. They reckon 1 in 125,000 is a ratio. That's what they reckon. But they reckon in about 15 years' time, they reckon it's going to be more common than autism. They reckon.
Wow.
Because so many people are being misdiagnosed with autism without having the genetic blood testing, and it's not until the genetics comes in that they actually get diagnosed properly.
Well, we have a lot of people who have been diagnosed with autism here in America.
Well, in America, people with SMS get a dual diagnosis. They get SMS and they get autism in the same diagnosis.
Yeah, because it falls in the spectrum.
It does. In the UK, it don't, and that's something we're fighting for at the moment. Stop to give you the thumbs up, and have a good morning. Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Cheers for that. Olivia is 1 in 4, 1 in 3. Gary, I can't. I have no words, Gary. That is shocking. It does work quite well in some regards because she's super unique. She does actually display the need for care. So although it's probably never easy to get the care, she does display it. With Riley, because he doesn't display so many of the needs, in some ways it can be more challenging to get what you need. For instance, I'll give you a simple example: disability living allowance for children for the ages of 1 to 16. The care component is broken up. Is if you have to take care of your child between the hours of 11 and 2 in the morning, you then qualify for the high rate care component within the mobility, within the care DLA. So that's not a problem for Riley because he's awake during the night, and we have to change his nappy and all that sort of stuff and keep an eye on him. He qualifies for the care component side. But from the mobility side, he didn't originally. So what we then had to do was we had to then go to court, go through the process with the DWP, and display that Riley's got all his arms and legs. He can run. He doesn't need any medication to recover after walking. So those 3 components, he didn't qualify for the mobility. However, there is one other component which is the Severe Mental Impairment Act of 1986, which simply says if the person has their brain is under a state of arrest, or if the brain is not fully formed and functionable. In some cases, that's really hard to display, really easy to display. Like people with cerebral palsy and people with autism, because of the behaviour and the syndromes and the conditions, it's clear that the brain is either under a state of arrest or is not completely formed, not completely, or doesn't work correctly. So with SMS, with having a child of only one of 200 in the UK, with all the professionals we've had under him, they've all said that his brain is not under a state of arrest. Okay. But when Riley goes out, Riley can and does and will lay in the road and refuse to move. So with that, because he goes into what we call a meltdown situation, where it's like an out of body experience, where the child or the adult has just lost it, and there's no bringing them back out of it. You can't soothe, you can't reassure, you can't distract. You just have to let it run its course, and that can be anywhere from 15 minutes to about 8 hours. So when you've got a child who's 8 years old, kicking off, headbutting the floor, refusing to move in the middle of the road, spitting at people, biting, wrecking shops, all that sort of stuff, that must qualify under the severe mental impairment rule. And the doctors and the DWP all said no, it doesn't. So I then went to court, and we fought the case for 9 months. And in the end, I went to tribunal and sat in front of a judge and a doctor and a mobility specialist, and it took them no less than 15 minutes to make their decision to say Riley does actually qualify for the high rate mobility component. And it was based purely on lack of knowledge. The doctor didn't know anything about Smith-Magenis syndrome. The mobility expert didn't know anything about it, and the judge had never heard of it until the case paper had landed on their desk. So how can you go to a tribunal to fight a case that the professionals who stand in front of you that you have to answer to don't have a clue on what the case is about? And on that basis alone, with my 479-page document that I compiled from help from all over the world, in particular from Anne Smith in Pittsburgh, who's one of the co-founders of the syndrome. I slapped the document on the desk and it made a big thud noise, and it took him 15 minutes to rule to say, yeah, he does qualify. And since then, I've been able to assist probably about 30 other families in the UK to get the high rate mobility component for mobility. So it's never easy. Just never give up. I knew Riley has a state of arrest because he does things that children with normal ability don't do. You don't see a child with normal ability smash his head against a wall and keep doing it for no reason, because that's what Riley does. When he just lifts his toenails clean off of his feet without even feeling it, just takes the toenails clean off.
Making that last video you did on cleaning carburetor, really liked that video, by the way. But there was a part where I was paying attention to Riley behind you, and I saw him smack himself in the stomach.
Yeah, it's not until you get to know Riley you get to see that, but when you're trying to fight a case in court and Riley is not present, it's harder. What would have been easier is to put Riley in the chair in court and say, I'll spend 20 minutes with him and see what you think. That would have been easier. But Riley quite often head bangs. He bangs his head, he bangs his stomach, he does that, bites his fingers, all that sort of lovely good stuff. But never give up. Never give up. You can do anything as long as you just set your mind to it.
Exactly.
Never give up, ever.
You know who taught me not to give up? Steve.
Yeah. How's Mick today? Hope you're good. My kids have a gene defect called MC4R gene, but we also diagnosed with autism. I'll make a note of that. I've not heard of that. I'll read that up because a lot of genetic defects
Daddy,
generally link to the opposing gene as well.
Daddy,
2 seconds,
Riley,
buddy. MC4R.
Daddy.
And is that Barry? Is that a deletion? Is that a mutation? Is that a mosaic defect, or what is that? Do you know?
Hello, Riley.
Hi.
Because Riley has a defect of chromosome 17, particularly in the RAL1 gene, where he has a microdeletion of 4.2.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Wake up.
I'm talking to Ash, and I'm
Yeah.
talking to Steve,
Yeah.
and I'm talking to Snobby, who's in the shed. How about you go and close the door,
What's that for?
and that way the fire will warm the shed.
What for, boy?
Roy might be in later on. Let's go and shut the door. Good boy.
Yeah, because we're not born in a barn, right?
Yeah, we're not born in a barn, right? We're not born in a barn. Not yet. Soon. 1 hour. Shut the door. Shut the door. Go on. Shut the door. Shut. You're going doors. Hey, go on then. See you in a bit, buddy. Go careful. Off he goes again.
I like
Yeah,
it
what-
when having good moments like that where it's not having fits or anything.
Yeah. Took us 8 years to get a diagnosis with my boy. So what is that, Barry? Is that a deletion, or is it is it a mosaic where it's copied the gene, or is it a mutation of the gene, or part of it? I'm not familiar with it, but I will look into it. I'm fascinated by genetics.
Hello, Snobby.
Computer nerd, Steve. Hello again.
Behavior can come from food, JCT. Not all. If a defect is genetic, then I would have to disagree with you. But lots of people with the more common diagnoses of ADHD, autism, and some forms of global development delay, E numbers can play a massive part in it. But not all behavior it comes from food. Definitely not. If you're missing part of your genetics, then your body is not functioning how it should do. Riley's main. I'll tell you what Riley's main one is. In fact, I'll put a link up for anyone that's interested. Let me just fire this website up. This is actually the charity that I help run, and the person on the front of the charity screen, his name is Matthew, and he lives about 5 minutes from me, and he was diagnosed with autism pretty much from birth, and then re-diagnosed at the age of 19 with Smith-Magenis syndrome. So there is the Smith-Magenis syndrome UK Foundation website page, and that's the charity that I help run and support other children. So feel free to have a look at it. You don't need to donate or anything like that, but just fill your boots and have a look at the. If you go to the main page, and then it goes to if you meet the trustees under become a member, you'll see me on there as part of the professional board. And then down the bottom it says what is SMS, and it says overview and characteristics of SMS. If I load that page up, and I know the young lady on that page as well. So SMS is a syndrome, genetic disability due to a microdeletion or abnormality of chromosome 17. Major features of Smith-Magenis syndrome include mid to moderate intellectual disability, delayed speech and language skills, defective facial features, sleep disturbances, and behavior problems. That's the overview. Characteristics: individuals with Smith-Magenis syndrome are characterized to have a short, flat head, prominent forehead, a broad, square face, deep set eyes, underdeveloped midface, broad nasal bridge, short nose, tempered upper lip, and a chin that is small and becomes more prominent with age. These facial features can, I can't really see it because it's angled wrong, can be subdued in early childhood, but usually become more prominent in later childhood to adulthood. Dental abnormalities are also common. During infancy, they have feeding problems, failure to thrive, weak muscle tone, prolonged napping, and then lengthier. And later in childhood and adulthood, they become more developed to disturb sleep patterns, difficulty falling asleep, regular wakening throughout the night, and sleepiness during the day, as well as behavioural problems. The behaviour problems that can be exhibited in a variety of ways in frequent temper tantrums, impulsivity, anxiety, aggression, and self-injurious behaviour, including self-hitting, self-biting, and skin picking. So that's just literally just an overview of Smith McGuinness. And if you hadn't heard of Smith McGuinness, you'd have said that sounds like autism, right? You know,
Pretty
the
much.
aggression, the oversensitivity, overstimulus, all that sort of stuff. It sounds.
That syndrome also kind of sounds like.
I was reading that along with you, Mick.
So that's why it's misdiagnosed as autism, because it is so close to autism. It's not even funny. So it's a mutation of a gene, a chemical. I'm just interested if you can get mutations, deletions, and a mosaic as well. But I'll look into it, definitely see what it is, because you'll be surprised how many, as I said before, how many syndromes that are genetic. When it affects one gene, sometimes it also affects 2 or 3 genes on the other side of it as well, and that's where you get your complex needs, is because it doesn't just affect one, it affects other genes within the pattern as well, or within the same sequence. If it's genetic, then it's not much you can do. All the best to all the P's. Yeah, Mick, you do a fantastic job looking after little Moa. You are brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that. That means a lot. All we can do is the best we can do. No worries, Barry. It's cool. Hi, hunting with Stuff J&J. How you doing? Mutation. Mad Kiwi's in the house. Just popped in to say hi. Off to the fart sack. Early start. Yeah, no worries, buddy. Just had 2 hours getting of children at hospital, getting in study done. Doctors, professions. Yeah, that all sounds familiar. Yeah, you every day is a learning curve, especially with Rider Boy. Every day is a learning curve. But he has taught me some valuable life skills. He's definitely taught me patience. Definitely taught me patience, because everything with Riley has to be done at 100 miles an hour, and you have to slow him down. So you have to be so patient with him, because if you give him one simple instruction or two instructions, that can overload the boy, and he gets lost really quick, really fast. So yeah, he's taught me patience. He's taught me how to look through different windows as well, and how not to judge other people quite so quickly, because not all disabilities are visible.
As you know, that I haven't known Riley for that long, but in the short time, the worst thing I heard that he's ever done was headbutting the teacher. Wow, can't have that.
That's common. That's common. That's common. But in Riley's school, he has 5 or 6 in the class, and then a class is split into 2. So there is 12 of them, but it's in 2 different classrooms. And in each class, they have 1 teacher and 3 teaching assistants in each class, and so they're getting a ratio of nearly 1-to-1 teaching. And in that, they have people coming in doing speech and language, occupational therapy, fine motor skills. They also have a hydro pool. They have an indoor heated swimming pool. They have a chill out room. They have magic carpet rooms, sensory rooms. They have everything. And it's a really, really good school. So when he goes to school, I'm happy that he's actually being looked after as an individual, rather than in a mainstream school as a group of children of 30 to 40 and not getting the care you would really expect.
Well, he'd get bullied by kids in a regular school.
Say again.
I said he'd end up getting bullied by kids in a regular school.
Oh, but the local council wanted Riley going to a mainstream school. That's what they wanted, and I was like, that ain't gonna happen. And I said, well, at least we can try. And I said, so let's go day one. Riley goes into mainstream school and he needs to go to the toilet. How's he going to tell someone he needs to go to the toilet?
Right.
And I said, well, you just ask. I said, well, Riley doesn't talk. Riley uses sign language. So does the school that you're looking at putting him in, does anyone in that school know sign language? And so I'd have to investigate. I said, well, if not, then Riley needs a translator by his side 24/7. Because Riley was non-verbal up to the age of 6. Didn't talk. So he used what we call Makaton, which is a child's version of sign language, of which me and Mrs. P are fully fluent in. And even now, Riley's speech is delayed. And if he can't say what he wants to say, he will back it up with sign language. So there's that to contend with. So he wouldn't have even been able to ask for a drink or ask for a biscuit or go to the toilet, because he had been signing for biscuit and for a bottle of juice and what have you, and wouldn't have been able to communicate. We found that with Riley, even at breakfast time when he was very little, before he learned sign language, we used to give him a particular cereal, which was quite sweet. And we found out after he had learnt the sign language, he didn't actually like it. Didn't like it. But because he couldn't talk and didn't use sign language, he couldn't tell us. And we just put it down to him being delayed with his chewing and not having the muscle coordination to chew food and to swallow. We put it down to that. But when he actually learnt sign language, he actually told us he didn't like it. That's why. So we changed the cereal up, and he likes the other one. You know, so learning sign language was one of the best things I ever done, because I was actually able to communicate with my son, and he was able to talk to me through sign language. And once he picked it up quicker than me, and Mrs. P went to night classes for 3 days to do it. I learnt off of YouTube, funnily enough, and I can remember sitting there when he was like 4.5, 5 years old. I remember sitting there having adult conversations with Riley boy in sign language. And I tell you, there's nothing more fruitful than being able to talk to your child and then talk back to you. You know what I mean? It is fantastic.
Yep. That is true.
Let's go read these.
You know, what's interesting, Mick, is that most of the time I admit I don't understand Riley because of that speech impediment. But there are those times where he says something that's clear as day, like when he says the word hi, as in hello. I hear that clear as day.
Yeah. Sometimes he baffles me. Mick, Riley's got you. He's going to be. Yeah, I know. He will be better than fine. He will actually thrive. I'm telling you. And he is at school. He is actually thriving. I can remember when Riley couldn't even put more than 2 syllables together. It's just one word. And one day I went to go to work, and I said, right, I'm off, darling. Give Mrs. P a kiss like you do, and said bye to the kids. So I said, right, bye, see you later. And Riley turned around and he went, see you later. So I stopped in my tracks. I turned around and I said, what did you say? And he went, huh? I said, no, say it again. See you later. Huh? And it never ever came out till about 2 years later. But he said it once, clear as day. I heard it. But with SMS, it's little miracles happen every day, and there's hundreds of little miracles, and you just got to spot them. You know. Joined up, buddy. Okay, Mick. I got you, mate. Yeah, cool. True, Mick. You're a great dad. I do try to be. No worries. That's fine. Don't worry about keeping up. It's not a problem. It's cool. But it is my life. It's what I do. It's the cards I were dealt, and it's whether you decide. It's whether you're able to play or bust. And some families can't play. It's as simple as that. And I don't hold no grudges against them if they don't have the ability to look after their own children. I've got no qualms with that. If people want to put their children into care or foster or whatever because they can't do it, that's fine. I've got no qualms with that. And if people want to give their children to other people who will look after them and provide a service much better for their child, I've got no qualms with that at all. Because trust me, 4 years ago, I was nearly at that end where I couldn't support my own family. So I know what it's like. But I managed to turn myself around. They kept my kids in mainstream, Mick, but I disagreed with it. We used that Makaton stuff too, Mick. My boy never spoke properly till the age of 6. Then got speech language. Now he speaks clever to me. Yeah, exactly. Well, they reckon that over here in the UK, they recommend if you have a child development centre, which are quite few and far between nowadays, they don't generally get the kids in till about 3 years old. But with children with complex needs, it has actually been proven that these kids or babies can learn sign language at the age of 6 months.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's been proven, and they're now looking at teaching Makaton in every single nursery in the UK as a staple, so they have another language. Because so much frustration and behaviour is actually due to communication. They're trying to tell you something is not right. They're trying to tell you they're happy. They're trying to explain what's going on. And if you can't say it, then what other way can you communicate that? And they're now picking up that now children can learn these life skills of speech through sign at 6 months.
They should teach that in all schools.
Well,
Yeah.
they are looking at it, but don't forget you're into a completely new domain where people don't understand. I mean, how can you tell a child is full or not just because they've stopped eating? But they look for one of the biggest phrases that Riley learnt was more, because he wanted more food. And when he learnt the sign language for finish, which is this one, finish or more, you were able to give him more food. He's trying, and before that, you can imagine if he's still hungry but can't tell you. You can imagine the frustration that was coming out, or if he was full and you were trying to put the food in him and he's had enough but can't tell you. You can imagine where the behaviour come from, But now he runs me rounds and rings with sign language. He asks for cheese on toast. He wants sweets for breakfast, and he's taking the piss is what he's doing.
What's his favorite cereal, Mick?
Shreddies, frosted Shreddies, and he also likes cheese on toast.
Yeah.
Second, Steve.
Shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat.
Same thing. Yeah, I love frosted shredded wheat. So good.
Or he likes cheese. He likes cheese on toast.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of his favourites.
I like McDonald's.
He likes McDonald's, yeah.
No, I do.
So is Riley. I'll be 2 ticks. 2 ticks. I've got Riley on camera indoors.
So, Snobby, tell me why you're playing with your vices and grinding on stuff.
Tell him why.
Yeah.
Oh, so I've got things to do, computer nerd. Well, I haven't. I'm just making myself busy, that's all.
I was just curious if it was, a neat project you were working on or something.
Hey, Snobby, show me that board that you was talking about earlier. Real quick. That board that you put that razor blade in for stripping wire.
I've got a few. That's what I'm doing now.
Oh, okay. So I could basically do that with a brake line flaring tool.
This is a piece of solid oak. So it's very, very hard wood.
Yeah, but the holes are about the same size as brake line holes in a flaring tool.
Well, they're all different size holes.
Yeah. Goes from about a 1/4 inch up to what, about 3/8?
Yeah, any set of drills really. You know, any little set of drills from a small one to the large one. And then it enables you to do a cable like this, like just an extension cord, that's got 3 different size cables in. Right? That'll take the outer casing off, and then you can strip these smaller ones as well. I don't generally go anything smaller than these. Anything else, I'll just put in a bag, and that goes as like an insulated wire then.
Yeah, I'm the same way with that. I don't give it anything smaller than the standard cable, standard plug wire. The data link type cable and stuff like that. As you said, I'll throw it to the side as insulated.
I mean, this stuff here, this is computer wire.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they call it. This is really thin stuff. All I do is take the outer casing off.
Data link.
And then you'll get a much better price for that.
Yeah.
See how thin that is? They're so thin. But when you start getting bunches and bundles of it, I mean, there's probably many guys like the nerd, computer nerd there, that's got bundles and bundles and bundles of copper wires thinking, oh, I might make a use of that one day. And he never does. He might as well just stick it out at the end of the garden and let some poor old scrap man come along, pick it all up. And he goes, thanks, computer nerd.
David Young, I will tell you this now, I don't like McDonald's.
They even tried almost a publicity stunt here in the UK on exactly the type of thing I've just said. Loads of people getting all their cords and everything like that they no longer use. They're just in a big bag somewhere indoors and take them to the local church for these couple of guys. And they'll recycle it all for you and everything. Yeah, I bet they would, yeah. But the amount of people that were taking stuff there was incredible.
Yeah, I would have loved to. I bet those guys doing the recycling.
Well,
because I guarantee you, 100% of that went back to the church.
I bet none of it went back.
Just trying to make Riley boy a bit of lunch.
Yeah, Barry, McDonald's is boiled, nasty junk food.
So what did you make him for lunch, Mick?
He's had a jam sandwich, cheese straw, packet of Crispies, some little chicken bite bits, and a yogurt.
Sounds good to me.
He's good at rock and roll. My boy taught himself. He wanted food. He used to put his finger in his mouth and bite up and down. And a drink, he used to suck his finger. They do find a way. But to eat, that's what Riley used to sign. More food. And for juice is that one. Juice. That's a straw. They do find a way. But using sign language as a staple tool, as a set language, you can both follow it. But the problem is we found with Riley, he very quickly became a lazy signer. So to eat, he used to do that. And it's not actually anything like the sign language. So he incorporated his own language, which you have to try and keep up with.
Riley's a funny kid.
Oh, yeah, he has me in all four sometimes, I can assure you of that.
Where'd you go, Steve?
Hey?
Oh, I was asking Steve, where'd he go? He disappeared.
Two of my lads had ADHD when they were younger. Caused a lot of trouble, especially when school, normally ending up causing damage. Teachers don't know how to deal with them. Yeah, no, yeah, that becomes familiar. I can assure you. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing? It does become very normal, especially in mainstream schools, that they don't know how to deal with complex needs. But in Riley's school, it's fantastic. As I say, that they're absolutely brilliant. They're on the ball. They know exactly what makes them tick.
Yeah, but things are better now, Mick. Surely, we go back 30 years.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When the disability people had a three-wheeler, little blue car.
Yeah.
You know, we have moved.
We've moved forward tenfold. But I think what has now changed dramatically is that people with additional needs who are in the right care are being treated as an individual rather than as a group, and that's what makes the difference.
Mick, the biggest problem is we look after far too many people from the EU.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, it is a problem. Of course it is.
Because if we took off 1 million of them people tomorrow, right, it would be far better for your son and many other people's children, grandparents, and everything else. It's because after time, we are supplementing them.
I 110% agree with you. You know, but this is why our NHS system is on its arse. You know, people can come to the UK for free medical care, and even if they don't get it and they get a bill and they go back to their own country, they don't ever pay that bill. They never pay. Of
course not.
You know,
we're
too lenient. We're too lenient.
You know the Queen Elizabeth Bridge at Dartford?
Yeah.
Do you know that is owed, wait for it, that is owed £14 million from people from the Eastern European side.
Really?
With their foreign number plates. Because of their foreign number plates. They just drive over, willy-nilly, £14 million it's owed.
Yeah, just because they can't trace the number plate.
Because they can't trace.
Or can't put it can't put the letter through the door.
Yep.
Can't back it up. That's crazy. But there is actually an organisation. I did actually see something similar, but it was more NHS based. And they actually have an organisation now within the NHS that actually goes abroad and knocks on people's doors and say, "You owe us 14 grand. You owe us 10 grand." But how much is that costing to have those individuals over in those countries? It's sort of counterproductive. It should be you can't do it. I mean, did I hear right? Boris Johnson is now looking at charging for an ambulance and calling a doctor out now.
Oh, I have not heard of that yet.
I thought I did. Someone brought it up the other day. I think it's like 30 quid for an ambulance and 30 quid for a doctor's call.
Paul from Things to Do with
I think people would want to rip his head off if he started to make decisions like that.
Yeah, because that's what we pay our stamp for, you know. But there you go.
Well, your parents that paid into this many years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But it's all what it is. Barry, years ago, Snobby, you just had to get on with it, and yeah, I think you are right. I think you are right. Also, Barry, despite what Snobby's comment is, we have gotten better, but there were institutes for people with additional needs. I mean, if you go back, I can remember. I'm only 40, but I go back 30 years. Very rarely ever saw anyone with Down syndrome. Very rarely.
Because they was in some sort of care society, weren't they?
They were locked up. You didn't see them.
You didn't see people walking around that had mental health issues, and now you do because they've kicked them all out.
Yeah, they were always there. They were always there, but they were just under lock and key somewhere else. You never see them. What
they've done is they've kicked them all out on the streets, right, and then turned them properties into sellable properties.
Yeah.
For greed.
Yeah, we have come full circle, and I think we are doing better, and I think also charities are doing better work now as well. There seem to be more structure where lots of charities years ago didn't even have to be registered. but now there's incentives for companies to pay into charities to get a reduction in their tax. Fantastic idea. So now you're seeing big, massive corporations paying like £50,000 into a charity over 4 years, so they pay less tax. You know, it's a fantastic idea. I just wish that there were more smaller charities, similar to what Riley's is, who are able to bid for bigger grants. That's why we've done what we've done with our charity. Is we shut our charity down in January this year. It'd be closed, and then within 20 minutes it'd be reopened as an incorporated business. But it's cost us £25,000 to do that as a charity. We've had to fund that ourselves. But now we're going to be an incorporated charity. We can now go off to the big hitters, Virgin, BT, whoever, and say, can we have a grant for £30,000 to look into this research, to assist with this needs, or to do? And now we can now get into that. Whereas before, a smaller charity that we still are currently, we can't even go to Virgin and say, can we have one golden ticket for the London Marathon? Can't do it because you're not an incorporated business. But yet there's other charities who are, and they can like get 15 tickets, 20 tickets, and they put a bill on it. So they say you can have a ticket if you can guarantee to raise £2,500. You know, all we wanted was one ticket to get one of our people to run, and we got runners within the charity to maybe raise £500 to get some kid's bedroom padded out so they don't hurt themselves. But you just can't do it. So we are doing better as a government. We are doing better. We're going in the right direction. But you're right, Snobby. That we are still putting money in the bin for other countries when our own country perhaps needs to be invested first. It's a bit like the EU, wasn't it? We were pumping into the EU millions, billions, and there are other countries who are in the EU who have not put a penny in.
Well, not only that, when we have a major flood in this country where hundreds and thousands of homes get flooded out, right? Do we ever hear of another country helping us out financially?
No, we don't even get sent a box of straws.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll be the first one to hear what we're sending out to other countries in aid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. But it's tough, isn't it? It's a bit like the old children in need. You know, it's a big, massive drive. I don't know why it was set up, because of the famines in Ethiopia and all that sort of terrible, horrific stuff. But you know, we're 20 years in now to children in need. 20 years in.
There's still nothing's changed.
Because you're still getting adverts on the TV saying, "Can you give £2 a month to put a water pipe in?"
Yeah, I've got one for you. You hear of little what can we say? Look, what name can I use? Gabby. You hear of little Gabby that has to walk 10 miles to get her bucket of water, right? Well, why don't she move closer to the water in the first place?
Well, that would make common sense, possibly.
No, if you've got to walk 10 miles every day to get water, well, then just walk there and stay there and closer to the water.
It makes sense to me and you. Don't know the logistics in it, but all I'm saying is 20 years on, it looks like these particular third world countries have not made much progression with the money that's been donated. Or is that because we don't get to see that televised coming back?
It's a bottomless pit.
Because that would be nice to see. That last year we raised £43 million, and this year this is what we spent it on. You don't often get to see a lot of that, do you?
You don't see anything.
You said that children's fund only wants y'all to pay £2. Over here they want you to pay $20 freaking a month.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's right.
For the same network.
Yeah.
I believe it's the country's own governments that need to sort their problems out.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, you look at somewhere like Zimbabwe, where you had Mugabe in place. He was a tyrant. He was living off of gold plated floors. He was eating off of gold plated plates, but the person on the other side of the wall didn't have a pot to piss in.
Or when it turned out.
I don't normally do politics on my channel, but it rolls me up too. It does roll me up when I'm being told I can't have this, that, and the other medication for Riley because it's too expensive.
Yep.
You know, and that's just coming in now. The medication that Riley's on, they're looking at changing it to a cheaper option, which is probably not going to be as good. But I pay my stamp each week for my wages to cover that. I've got insurances to cover that, so why can't I have it? But the government is saying it's too expensive.
Yeah, wrong. It's all wrong. We know it's all wrong. Unfortunately, with the British, all we want sometimes is a quiet life, and we're not going to make no waves, you know. But really, we need to stand united and make a stand. But unfortunately, we don't. We just want a quiet life.
Well, I think it all come to a head, didn't it, when during the Second World War, when things were rationed and we had to put ourselves on ration. You know, but that's the closest we've ever been to poverty, is when certain materials weren't available, certain foods weren't available, and we did quite well as a country to ration ourselves. But we tend now just to give stuff away. It's ludicrous.
Well, if we go back to the poll tax riots, yeah, when we was all being, we had to pay the poll taxes, right?
Yeah.
So they throw it out there to see where it sticks to the wall, and there's a lot of people that rebelled against it. So they started to make a protest about it, right? And it became a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened then? What happens? They've all got their video cameras, videoing everybody's face. And then what they do afterwards, they go around picking them all off because they know who they are, and then put them in prison.
Yeah.
So the moment you rebel against something, you've had it.
Yeah, you're done.
Because they're just, you're put in prison for it.
Yeah.
So you can't win.
Yeah. I mean, it's like in America. I remember not so long ago in America, fuel prices rocketed. So everyone stopped buying fuel. Everyone just refused to go to work. Everyone just refused to get in the car. Over here, we just suck it up, princess.
Yeah.
You know? Crazy. I'm not sure if anybody in here has seen the show called Follies War Yachts, isn't it? Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, I liked the show. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw that.
See, back in those days, it called Chief Detective Superintendents. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It'll be lonely this Christmas
You start.
with no one to hold.
Can we get some thumbs up, please, people? I'm showing what we're showing. 26 in the house, 25 thumbs up, which is good, but I think we've had a few people change seats since then, so a couple of thumbs up would be fantastic. It helps towards the growth of my channel. That'd be lovely. Also, if anyone is in the festive mood and feels to give a little bit, soon as talking about giving stuff out for free, there is the link to my wish list, which is to help purchase products towards my channel, tools and such like. Feel free to knock yourselves out and buy some tools for Micks Mowers. So what are we up to then? What are you up to, Snob? Just in the old shack doing something?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me, I've come down the shed because it's just much easier to come down here on my phone.
Yeah.
There's no one in right now. I should be down here in case any parcels turn up.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my parcel to turn up. My calendar's
I know
staying.
I've got one from Scrapping Irish on its way.
I've got one here actually, funny enough.
Which is very nice of him.
I've got a little Christmas card turned up today actually, or yesterday, and he's not in the room, but I'll open up anyway. I've got a nice little Christmas card from Pete Froud, his missus, and the girls, which is quite nice. Nice little Christmas card. 2 little dogs, which is quite nice.
Well, it's going to be hard time of Mick, isn't it? Because of the people out shopping and stuff like that, eh?
Oh yeah, definitely. But you also give me a load of Terrell Fixes All stickers. So I've got a Grass Rats Garage, which is quite nice. I've also got a Grass Rats Garage detail one there.
Same stickers, Nick.
Nothing against Terrell Fixes All, but I just cannot get into the get up they do.
There's Terrell. And there's slippers.
They're an acquired taste, Steve, as you might say.
Well, the thing is that they have their channel as a comedy channel, as a fixing channel. You know, if you can get past the comedy side of it and just get onto the fix, then if it benefits you, then that's all good. So thank you for that, Pete. Much appreciated, buddy. Lovely little card with some stickers there. I should get them on your box. And he also sent me a key. So I'm hoping.
Key? As in a keyway key, or
no, as in a key.
Key,
so I'm hoping this key is going to fit my electric start mount build.
Oh, that's what it's for.
So I'll just turn it around.
It's for a push more ignition starter switch.
And run it down there, and we'll just see if it don't actually fit.
Was it one of those ones that looks like a damn key or something?
Say again, buddy.
Does it look like a cross at the tip? Yeah, that's a standard key for those. That battery's done for.
I think it's a starter.
It's almost hilarious how that thing is acting.
Yeah, it works, but I might have to look at getting that battery changed for it before I do the starter. I might give it another charge. It was charged fully, and it was pumping out 13 volts, so it does say the battery is fine, but I may have to remove the starter and give the starter bushings and computate a bit of a clean-up as well, just to help out. But we shall see. But that's okay. It actually fits, so I better put a keyring on that, because someone's fingers will probably be all over that. He'll find it, he'll have that out, and he'll lose that. So
well, if he loses, let me know. I got like 3 or 4 more around my house.
But it works fine, but literally, it just I don't think there's enough juice in the battery, or the starter motor's a bit dippy on it.
Okay. I got this storage.
It's only doing one revolution on the flywheel, so I've got a bigger battery here. I'll have that charged up, and I'll hook that up to it, see if that makes any difference. But it should work fine.
Hey Mick, you got a jump box?
Nah. I think what it is, I might need the terminals cleaning bed on the battery, so I'm going to take the battery off it and sand the terminals down again, because there was a bit of solder on them. So I'll give it a bit of a clean up, and
just pour some hot Coke on them.
Yeah, I'll figure something out. It's no biggie. I've got a feeling it may actually be the starter. Just wants a bit of a clean.
But if you want to clean the terminals, easily and environmentally, get some hot Coke and pour on them, and then take a brass brush and just lightly.
I've got this specialist contact cleaner.
That stuff's junk. Coke's better.
So I'll put these stickers on. I think I'll put my terrell down here. I've got a bit of a terrell thing going on over here, so I'll put a bit of terrell down here. So you boys are up late. You're not going to bed at all? Because you were live earlier on.
No, I'll be up the rest of the day. I'm waiting to see if this client contacts me. Want another sorting. Then I got some bunch of stuff I gotta get done today, so I will just stay up. Because if I get to bed, I won't wake up.
Rightio. So what's the rest of you up to? There's 22 in the house here. There's a link in the chat for the StreamYard. If anyone else wants to come up, have a chat, feel free. Naked man going past the TV. So I've not got a lot on today. I wasn't going to do a video on that black mower, get that stripped down, get it ready for spray job. But I thought I'd do a live today as I put a video out yesterday.
Hey Mick, now that's a proper blanket for you.
What's that, a blanket?
Yep.
Can't see it, hang on. Was that the Whirlies?
Yep.
You had it made for you?
No, I found that on YouTube. Not YouTube,
Okay.
but Facebook. I get all kind of shit that pops up like that on my Facebook. T-shirts, blankets, and sweatshirts, and
So, are you going live Christmas Day? Any of you lot?
oh yeah,
No,
I will.
won't.
I will be. Because it's only me and Riley Boy here Christmas, so Mrs. P's got to work.
See, your Christmas morning would be before mine, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Are you there, Tech?
Yeah, Joe, I'm here. I'm just trying to get my new network sorted.
Snobby your sideways.
All right, Mo?
What?
Hey.
Hold on a second.
I would come up, but my tablet is dead. Poor excuse, Tim the Spanner Man. You got a charger for it. Charge it up.
Sorry about the noise in the background, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
What you
Don't
got
worry,
going?
buddy.
It's just the missus said leave the dryer on, so I've got to leave the dryer on.
Yeah, do as you're told.
No, I'm not. She's gone shopping for me, get me some cereals.
Turn it off then.
No, I would do, but then she comes moans, you know what I mean? She moans her ass off. Not drying, it's not this, it's not that.
Is that what she sounds like?
Yeah.
Morning, Roy. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you, mate.
Do you want the crazy news from the WDP?
Go on.
What we had today?
Did we lose Snobby?
Yeah, we did. He turned his phone that way.
All right, he'll come back in a minute. I'll put the link back out there.
Yeah.
What's the Department of Work and Pensions?
Yep. They're saying epilepsy is not an illness no more.
So what is it?
It's classified as a day-to-day living condition.
Okay. So how does that affect you?
It affects us because my missus can go back to work and have 5 fits a day, and they cannot do anything about it.
So if they're saying it's day to day, and she can go back to work, then surely it must fall on the employee to put things in place.
Yeah, but her doctor's already said because she's got learning difficulties and epilepsy and other bits and pieces with her, she's not allowed to. She's wrote a stiff letter. The doctor has a really big letter to the WDP, and they ignored it.
Well, it sounds like you need to go to tribunal.
Again, yeah, I've got the dates. We've got one in Pekin, Exeter, which is stupid. So yeah, and I got that one for me.
Like I said to you before, going to tribunal is a good thing because it gives you an opportunity to fight your corner and to show the raw emotion. That's why a tribunal is good. So it's a question of having to jump through the hoops.
Yeah.
And display that you've tried everything else, and that now you're at the end of your tether. So going to tribunal is a good thing. So don't waste the opportunity.
Oh, I'm not. No.
Otherwise, you'll do yourself a misjustice. Going in there, all guns blazing.
That's it.
And it'll be no good. It'll be no good. So what do? Do I get a lawnmower in and try and get a lawnmower running for you guys, or what?
Have a day off. Oh, you bored? Do you play with your tools?
What have I got out there? I've got a nice little Crowcast mower that someone sent me. I've got a nice little mount with a flathead Briggs on it. I've got a Honda, but I need a fuel line for it, which I've got up in the other shed. So I might bring the Crowcast in. Shall I bring a Crowcast in and have a look at that one?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. You're right, Steve. Have you ever thought of putting a mount on your computer or wherever you are, Steve, so your camera's actually pointing a little bit better without this little pot stick in the corner?
That's my PlayStation controller.
Yeah, I'm pulling your. I am actually pulling your chains. You alright, Whiz Kid?
What?
That's better. I can see everything. Hello, sweetie. What's up with you?
Google searching.
I'm after another router now. My other one blew up, so I found that problem. I blew a router up.
Oh, really? Is that what I have to do it?
Yeah, I needed to figure out something to have that that's pointing straight this way instead of pointing that way.
Yeah, I've got. I blew me 6 networks. I blew my main router, so it lost me 5 networks.
That's going to cost you about $100 or more for a new router, too.
Last one cost me £400 for a router. What I used.
You got a commercial.
The manufacturer said they don't cover the cost because it's my fault why it blew. But yeah, I'll deal with it.
So, are you going to go for another commercial model then?
I haven't decided yet. I'm going to wait and find out what's available in the new year. I've got to get one that takes all the stuff. Look at that. Oh, wow. That cat's looking at the camera today. Way.
Yeah, Roy just asked if you're talking to the wife again.
Yeah, my cat. Yeah, my cat's my wife.
Well, Paul, you're doing a great job of playing with your pussy.
I know. Tell me about it. Yeah. I know how to stroke it. You post a finger, not fondle.
Hey,
You know
about all
you're not having a cup of coffee. Cat likes coffee.
What the hell is big?
Cat likes coffee. How do you? Boys. Hello, Roy. Come on, you stupid cat. Move.
Going to war and shit.
Oi.
Is he what they call?
Yeah, now. Oh, come on, you stupid man. Go on, shift. Look this way then.
Oh, it's Mo. I was wondering what he was doing.
Yeah, the snow's coming down now.
Just gonna show her ass to everybody now. Go on. Go on. Oh, go on. Go on.
So I got this one in, which was a freebie.
No.
So we'll have that up on the bench and have a see what we can do with this one.
Snow's coming out now.
Snow. Oh yeah.
You can keep it. I want it, but I want it for Christmas Day. Yeah.
It'll be lonely.
I might just go.
Oh.
Sounds like Jim's chair, that does.
Yeah.
Come on then. Thank you.
Interesting. The company.
Hi Trev, how you doing, mate?
Hello, everyone in chat.
Oh dear. Ho ho ho, bah humbug. Nick and Snobby, did you get an email from Google to say you've got a free mini Google Player thing for being a YouTuber?
No.
For being a YouTuber, you can get a free Google thing, speaker thing for free.
What, a bit like an Alexa?
Yeah.
I've already got Alexa.
And I don't really want one.
What's up, Dirt Rider?
Dirt Rider in the house?
Dirt Rider.
I don't want one, but I'm going to give it away to the person for Christmas. I've already done it.
Give it me. Send it to me.
No, I've got one already. Going to the Mrs.'s sister.
I mean, there's so much stuff at Micks Mowers post office going his way. You know, they can't cope with it.
That's if Hermes can deliver it. The Hermes are really bad. I'm waiting for 9 things from Hermes.
9, only waiting for 1.
9, and that's over 2.5 weeks ago.
Well, they're chock-a-block right now, aren't they?
Oh, I'm not in a rush for them, so they're only tools.
It'll be lonely this Christmas.
Hi Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I'll give it about another half an hour. Zippo will be up here soon. Unless he's stuck in snow.
Hey, Rory, I'm gonna try to get that payment to you this afternoon, buddy. I haven't forgot yet. I've been busy.
Got the email last night at from Gmail company. Give me a second. Let me look at my emails. Oh, this one here. Got it last night at. This was 2000 hours last night. It says here, as you're a YouTuber, congratulations, you have earned the rights to have a free Google Nest speaker, the brand new one, the newest one's out. So yeah, £49 supposed to be. So yeah.
You've only got one bloody video on your channel.
Yeah, but I've done things for them as well. So yeah, in the past, which is not too bad. So. Oh, dear, coffee. I need another one.
Scotty, how's it going, buddy?
Morning.
I have a feeling that I'll be getting a phone call here shortly.
Hi Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Is that Scottish Projects?
Yeah.
Hello, Chris.
So this little lawnmower was given to me for free
That'd be another $60.
off of the fella that I normally buy mowers off of. And he turned up, sold me the 3 I wanted. And he said, I've got that as well if you want it. You can have it. So I just took it. Judging by the grass that's in the grass box, it's not actually been used that long ago. So hopefully it should be quite a quick fix. Let's put a bit of petrol in it and see what it does. See how we get on.
Oh, I used to like them.
Erin's poorly again, is she, Chris? Or she's still poorly? Waiting for a doctor's.
It'll be lonely as Christmas with no one to hold.
Let's give it a bit of that. See what we can do with it. So what do you reckon's wrong with this one then, people? Any ideas?
Yeah.
What do we reckon? Ash, what do you
It's
think?
It's a green one.
That's green.
Yeah,
But it was given to me for free and had no petrol in it. So do we reckon it's going to fire straight up, or do we reckon it's going to want a bit of help?
I think it's gonna fire straight up.
I reckon it's been tipped on its side. It's full up with oil. It's going to smoke like a good one. Going to smoke the shed right out. You're not going to be able to see nothing. You're going to fall over, hit your head.
Well, the first thing I see is that the blade is not on correctly.
Uh-oh.
Someone's been tampering.
That's the first thing I see. So before I do anything, I'm going to put the blade on right. So if a blade's not on properly, that it could have been knocked, and it could be another keyway issue.
People are always putting the blades on the wrong way because they don't pay attention to.
Have I got time to go and make coffee?
Yeah, I've got to get sorted out because I can't find my 14mm socket, and it should be in my box.
Oh dear.
So
yeah, Mick, that's one of the freaking dreaded sockets that you always wind up losing.
I found it. So I'll put the blade on. Diaphragm, you reckon a bad diaphragm? Chris reckons it's knackered.
I said it's not going to run.
You reckon it's not going to run?
I reckon it's going to be either car problems or oil problems. I don't know. I wonder what Miss is going to bring me back from the shop today. Yeah, either a donut or a croissant. I know what she's going to bring me back for dinner.
I say stick that M80 up the tailpipe and let it run.
Well, WizKid, I've just been given the Elgato HDMI adapter for DSLR cameras. So yeah, I can have my DSLR camera now, 4K camera on my computer.
That's cool.
Was there a broken key?
Well, it's got a bit of a nick in it.
And I just do his file down, it'll be alright.
Well, that keyway is not too bad. I reckon it's going to be a timing issue.
I've got the munchies today. Lovely. Yeah, tell it's nearly Christmas. I've got munchies.
You're always bloody eating.
Yeah, too right. The missus got to keep me fed before Christmas Day, so I look like a turkey.
Do I have to answer that?
No, because I know what your comment's going to be.
Yeah, Gary, the boss came off lovely. That's not always a good sign, bruv, is it?
It is hot. I've already gotten her up.
Yeah, I don't know what they've done to the Google Chrome, but it seems to be stuttery on certain video platforms.
Don't know. I'm not in the problem.
Well, is it running yet?
Put a coat on. It is not summertime out there.
I already have two on, one underneath the newest one.
It is 30-something degrees
Yeah, I
outside.
know, and I walked with a short sleeve and a short jacket yesterday.
That's your stupidity. That's why you're always sick.
I'm saying it's fine.
Coming.
Who's talking there? I don't recognize that voice.
Yeah. Roy's boy is in the chat.
Where?
He's in the chat. So if you say hello, Roy, he'll say hello back in the chat. He's in the chat.
Daddy?
Yeah.
What's that?
What's what?
Do from?
That's Sparky. You know Sparky.
How about you?
Hello, hello.
You right?
I'm fantastic. Brilliant.
Are you Roy?
Gary Butler's there. Say hi, Gary.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Royley.
You right?
All right, you?
Daddy, there you go.
There's a little bit of an echo. Yeah, little one.
Oi!
Roy says hello, Riley. Here you go. Edward Thomas says hello, Riley.
Come on, boy. Who's that?
Chris Gary says hello, Riley.
Hi to the Debbie. I took Edo. Daddy,
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Edo.
What have you been up to indoors?
I'm watching.
You been watching TV?
Ow, ow. Daddy,
Yeah.
you have the ball?
It's a green one.
Who?
We're not sure if it's running yet. We've got to have a look at it.
Daddy.
Yeah.
What for top back?
There's a little white on it.
What for boy?
It's in the chat.
But where?
In the chat.
I didn't see it.
Well,
Where?
it's getting pretty on.
Get your dad to get to get you a big bag of sweets. Do you know, you got some chocolate in the fridge, haven't you? You got some chocolate in the fridge?
Daddy?
Yeah.
I didn't see boy.
He's in the chat.
Where?
He's not on the stream. He's in the chat.
Boy?
Oh,
No, trap.
well, KK's not going to school today.
Where?
KK's not going to school today.
No.
Where?
Is she okay?
Where?
Her head's bugging her still, so Emily's going to take her to look at that later. After our meeting.
We go indoors. If you go indoors, you must take your shoes off. Otherwise you get muddy everywhere.
What's that?
Carpy Chris has said thumbs up, hello, with a sandwich.
Hey, Riley, buddy.
Hi, Shada. Daddy?
Yeah.
Hi,
What's it
KK.
now?
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what we get, shall we? So what do you reckon? Do you reckon it's going to fire straight up, or what do you reckon then, people?
I reckon it's going to blow up. So put a M80 in the muffler and light it and run.
Oh, Steve, you crazy man.
Hi, KK.
Hi, Mick.
KK?
Huh?
KK!
I said,
Oh, here. It's my head.
You right? Daddy, what's it
I'm
now?
going to walk through the window. but other than that,
Let's have a look and see what happens. Is it going to break Daddy's finger, or what's going to happen to it?
I'll do it.
No, I'll do it.
Ooh, go on.
Bobby. 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 Oh no, it's not working. Bobby. You want to now?
It's got a bit of a miss.
Oh no, I need to show it up. Oh, she now.
You can get the other stool down there. It's got a bit of a miss to it. Hiya, Pete. I just opened your card, Pete. You missed that.
What's up, Pete?
It's got a bit of a miss to it. So we're going to put another plug in.
Yep, I'm pulling all day too.
I do it. Unless you go.
Yeah, hang on, buddy. Yeah, I'll get two ticks.
I get my mowers in the ground, I'll get those blade shit sharpened on it.
This is Mummy.
yeah, no, don't survive.
Mummy, where's Mummy?
Give it
Make sure when you go doors, take shoes off your hands.
Bessie.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Yeah, good boy. Yeah, it's in bed. Love you.
So, KK, how you feeling over there?
I'm going to the ER today.
Did I hear you say you're going to the ER?
So that's probably the part. Emma, I'll take you a get it. You're sure. Make sure that ID mark is going up. Oh yeah, I can go there again.
Sorted.
Well, I can say that mower definitely runs. Micks Shed doesn't look too happy though.
Doug, your ears hurt, Ash.
I'll tell you, Micks Shed has been fumigated. There ain't no more insects in there now. Wow.
What you damning, Pete?
Smoking.
Hey, Mick, you turn a fan on, buddy.
The fan was on when the lawnmower was running.
I don't want to get you cursed with these darn things. The version of M&M.
It's missing quite a bit. I don't know whether it's a plug or the carburetor. It's got a miss to it. It's also chucking a lot of oil out too.
Yeah, I know what's up. It's been tipped on its side and it's full up with oil. The spark plug.
I reckon that's three things, Snobby.
What?
Smoking well, 999 Mick, shed on fire. Yeah.
999, you mean 911?
999 over here.
What about one of them, KK?
Hi, Paul. Hi, Snobby.
Hello,
Hello,
KK.
KK.
It's got the all's all right.
Yes, I can be
Shouldn't
quite
have tried
silly when I
to-
want to be.
Dog goofy. Huh?
She's gonna get
Let's give it a run and let's see if it clears.
Slowly move back around here. You're such a good girl. You are.
I think that's Stella, isn't it?
That's when she goes clawing at the back of your chair. That's not a good girl. Ow!
She says, I just want attention. You say, I want attention.
I get you're scared of mowers, but God. No.
Well, make sure you're sitting there when I start the big mower up later.
Right here?
No, outside.
What the
I
hell?
wish I could bring this side to work on.
I'll tell you something, my cat needs to cock up his backside.
Wow.
Claw them. Claw 'em. Let them don't declaw them. That can hurt them.
He didn't say claw.
No, I didn't really use that then.
Well, you don't need to hear what he's saying.
Oh, that's pretty bad. That's like CS gas, that's like, oh, God, that's bad. My cat's just led down here, her backside's pointing this way, and literally firing off this way, you know what I mean?
Oh, so it's a farting machine.
Yeah, my cat is letting wind off too much.
The cat saying shit on you.
Oh, dear. Oh, I don't need a cat doing that. Oh. Oh. Ah, okay.
You're not gonna
That's,
be a baby. Hey, stop it! Break it up! Break it up!
Cat's finally gonna get that.
Then it goes to her morning spot, and she just sits there all proud. Really, she's the one that lost the fight because she got bit by it on the leg.
oh.
Make lay off the weed.
Immediately off the weed. I like that one. That's pretty good, that. Oh, dear. Yeah, they changed Google over. They've put Google on a stutter system. I don't know if no one noticed it, but it's stuttering sometimes on videos, certain videos. It's crazy.
Really?
I can still hear you.
You,
You climbed up my leg, around my other leg, just to get up on my leg.
oh, I got super water.
That's not too bad temperature-wise.
It is
7:26 our time.
0 degrees your temperature. He gives his cat coffee, so that's what he gets.
Freaking hell. Yeah, she started sniffing my coffee today, trying to get it. But I told her not to.
What? What?
I freaking love that hoodie. It's my favorite color.
There's only two colours I like in the world, and that's blue and black. My two favourite colours are blue and black. That's my only two.
Purple and black.
Blue, purple, white, and black.
See,
Well,
purple-
no, somebody likes prison uniforms. You know what I mean? Colour.
see, purple and black.
My favourite colour is gold.
Yeah.
Ah, that is a good one, snobby. Good one, yeah. Yeah, I like gold. Yeah, I like gold. My coat's
No,
not
my
made of
favourite
gold.
colour. My favourite colour's got to be blue, but I do like gold.
Yeah.
I think Steve's favorite is yellow because he was that yellow shirt.
Mine is purple.
This is
black.
orange. If this looks yellow, Sherry, then you need to get your eyes re-examined.
It kind of has like a yellowish hue. On
These ones are orange.
it.
Thank you for defending me,
See,
KK.
the lights might make it look yellow, but it looks orange on our screen.
So that was just a spark plug and a new air filter. That's all it needed.
Oh,
That was it.
That cost all what, 30 cents?
Yeah, that's it. But it's got to have the front wheels are a bit wonk on it, so we need to sort that out. The bearings are gone, so I've got to sort some bearings out for it. They do go on me.
I just drill them out, put a thicker shoulder bolt in there, and be done with it. With two washers.
I could do, but I think that's all cast. They're not shoulder bolts, Steve. They're one-piece cast. So what I generally do is I just put a washer behind the bearing and then do it back up.
I was being a smart ass, Mick.
And that just tends to stabilize it up.
No, my favorite colors is orange and purple. Not purple and orange. Black and purple. Orange is just for work. But for Mick and them, I'm gonna get
Second.
and when you make me up one of these shirts that says county corrections, then a number more cost.
there's my favourite colour, Steve.
That's orange.
That's copper.
Orange.
Orange.
How can that be orange?
Copper is a shade of orange.
Get out of it.
Orange. If you want to get
More
real
like the colour of bronze.
Copper is
Oh.
a burn.
So I am noticing that two or three of the bolts on the head are a different colour.
So is that a flathead or is that a
It's a flat. Yeah, it's a flat. Yeah.
Hold up, the tree like you see.
So it might have blown a gasket as well. So I was trying to tighten them down.
Ooh, nice. Mm.
Yeah, they're all good. That runs quite well.
I was about to say, if they had a blown head gasket, you would be losing all kinds of compression.
Not necessarily. You are right in what you're saying. It is one of the main reasons. But also, what you can do is start it up and just put some spray across it, some spray to see if it's losing any compression outside. But don't always show that with these flatheads.
See you, David.
So that's a nice little motor, actually. Time it's sprayed up. Now look all right. New plug, new air filter, all changed. Spray the hood up. That's another one good to go.
Give it a good clear coat to seal in the patina.
What, on the deck?
Yeah.
The deck ain't too bad. I might just give it a once with a lacquer, but I'm going to take this off and I'll spray that up.
That's what I'm saying. You clear coat the deck to seal it the paint real good, and
yeah,
it'll make somebody a good mower for about another 5-10 years as long as they take care of it.
Yeah, that'll be all right. It's just the front wheels are a bit wobbly. The bearings are shot.
What are you messing with now, Snobby?
I think they're a sealed in bearing.
What are you messing with now? It's purple.
It's a refuge bag.
Garbage bag?
Yeah, I'm just going to empty out my waste bin. It's full up.
Harry Sweener, how you doing? Nice to see you, buddy. Links in the chat. If anyone else wants to come up, room for one more slim one.
Oh. Wow.
And there's my Amazon wish list link. If anyone's feeling festive, not fit it, just my Amazon wish list, feel free. Good. That's not bad little mower, actually. For free as well. That cost me nothing. I've got another one to pick up, actually. A friend of mine texted me to say his friend's got a mower if you want it for nothing, all complete, just doesn't run. So that'll be another one. That'll take me up to around about 20 mowers then. So I'm nearly halfway for the season already.
That's it. It's just my muscle flexing. I used to do it all day long. Sometimes I'll do it on its own, yes, but
He's obviously asking about something. I totally got everybody else in history.
I think Mick disappeared.
Is that everybody else is just shutting him up? Go ahead. Anybody. That's me. Don't like that.
Who knows where he is?
JC, I'm up to frozen.
Right, people, I've got to wrap it up because Rolly's having a few issues, so I've got to go and sort him out. But it's what it is. Family comes first, Snob. He's having a few little issues. He's not very well, so
can't you leave it running, Mick? Can't you leave it running?
I like to try and watch my stream in case someone comes in, Snob, you know what I mean?
No worries. I understand.
Feel free. You can go live, can't you, Snob?
No, I think JJ's going to go live in an hour.
Okay, cool.
But I might tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Give us a text, Snob, yeah?
Yeah, I will do.
Oh, cool. Well, people, thank you very much for coming anyway. I enjoyed it. It's very nice to see you all. And I'll catch you in a couple of days or two, and I'll see you on another one.
All right.
Okay, mate.
Take it easy.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Everyone in chat. Bye. Bye.